Hello guys, welcome back. Somebody asked me if I can make a follow-up video of Thor. This is probably gonna be like my shortest video ever because you guys know I hate giving you lists because what Thor wants from you may not be what Thor wants from me or what Thor wants for this Thorsman that wrote this great article or anything else. The gods ask us all for very different relationships. In fact, with me, he's so easygoing, it's actually hard to find enough material for a video. He has the hammer by the door because it made me feel good. He didn't need it, he appreciated it, it was very sweet and kind of his little sister to give Big Brother a hammer, but I didn't need to. And he has an altar over here with Loki, but again, he didn't need me to do that, and whatever I put on there is fine with him. He really doesn't care. He's really not fussy over colors or anything like that. Some people will say red and blue. Pick whatever makes you happy, whatever he seems to like. And he's really not fussy, and he really doesn't care that Loki's steadily taking over the altar and there's not much Thor stuff. Thor really doesn't care. He's really easygoing with me because that's the kind of relationship we have. For offerings, if it's something I made, whether it's food or like something else, he appreciates it. If it's something from nature, he is a farming god, he appreciates that. So if you can cook, if you want to try to make something, if you can cook, and it doesn't have to be like extravagant, it can be ramen noodles. He will be happy as long as you put the effort into it. That said, if you can't cook at all, that's fine too. He's super easygoing. He's not the kind of god you're going to offend if you put the wrong thing on his altar. The only thing I've seen piss him off is right-wing propaganda and neo-Nazis. That will piss him off. That is going to bring out the angry part of Thor, because Thor does not think people that hurt other people or prejudice against people are cool. Most Thor's men will tell you. He will have a problem with that, and if people are prejudiced and trying to use the gods for a bigoted reason, and they claim that they're serving the gods, they're definitely not dealing with Thor or Odin or Loki because they don't have time for that shit. So yeah, that's the only thing I would say don't do. If you want to have some power trip, Thor is definitely not the god to serve because he cares about the common man and he cares about protecting people. But he's really laid back and he has a great sense of humor. Like I was talking with somebody and I said, Loki's pretty easygoing. The Marvel stuff makes him laugh, especially the Thorky and the Frost Iron makes Loki burst into gouts of laughter, and Thor will laugh at the Thorky too, and he'll go, "Oh, look how cute you look, Uncle. That's such a nice costume." So he'll be back there, teasing Loki, and they'll both be laughing, they'll both be wheezing and gasping, and the raunchier the stuff, the funnier it is. So they're very body earthy gods. You're not going to offend Thor with too much. As long as you're not doing it in a way to insult or demean him. Don't purposely go out of your way to piss Thor off. Yeah, I would not personally go out of my way to piss Thor off because you might not even offend Thor, but then you'll have to deal with Loki, and Loki is very protective over little nephew. He is. And remember who his father is. And even though Thor is a great big grown god, every so often Dad comes over and is like, "What are you doing to my son?" "We're eating ramen and watching YouTube. Did you insult him?" "We're literally just sitting here." "You sure?" "Yes!" And then eventually Thor has to step in and be like, "Dad." So, so the worst you're going to have to deal with is you may have Big Daddy show up in your life and be like, "What are you doing to my son? Are you treating him well? What are you doing to my son? See, I'm a better dad because I wouldn't send my." Okay, we all know. We know how you feel about this. That's Odin's favorite talking point. Odin doesn't send his sons to do his jobs for him. Odin does Odin's work. He doesn't need to hide behind his son, as he has put it. And I said, there's some anger issues, aren't there? He goes, "I got 2,000 years of being angry." Yes, there are some anger issues there. And he has a point. He has a point. It's a totally different religion. It's a totally different family dynamic. Odin's not going to put his sons in harm's way, and his sons know it. Thor knows it. Thor knows he's one of Daddy's favorites. When I was setting up his VR temple, Thor got his way because Thor is actually pretty sweet. So he has Betty in there, that black heart he likes. I never saw the show it's from, but it's like Lucifer's black Corvette or whatever the hell car it is, I forget, but that's his car. He has that car in there, and he has like plenty of beer and meat and good food in that. He's really relaxed. He would like hanging out in a sports bar or whatever you like to do. If you honestly like to go antiquing or collecting stamps, if it's something you like to do, he's pretty easygoing. He will do it with you, but like I said, hurting or humiliating people is not Thor's thing. And I bring that up because he is kind of a god of justice. And if he thinks you're doing wrong to yourself or other people, he is going to point it out. He's the one that would always have me forgive my friends. You know, those friends that I no longer talk to, no matter how bad people are, he would rather keep the community peace and not have you waste your time being angry, not necessarily spend time with people that treat you poorly. So hear me on this. He wouldn't have you spend time with people who treat you poorly, but at the same time, if there's civil peace, that makes him a lot happier than having people constantly fighting. He really doesn't need that. You guys already know the thunder and lightning and storm associations and the goats and the cart and all the other good stuff. Um, Thor's just really easy to work with. There are lists out there of stuff to put on his altar, but he's never been like really enjoys hammers. He finds it amusing to no end that quote in the Marvel line, "What are you, the god of hammers?" He enjoys hammers that actually, and he enjoys working with your hands, anything you can do with your hands, carpentry, crafts, writing, arts, whatever. It's all good. He's really easy to work with. So there's really no guide you can give to him because the only guide I give, like I said, don't intentionally piss him off and you'll be fine. And you have to really work at that. If you make a couple honest mistakes, he'll say, "Hey, that's not something you should be doing," and you'll be fine. He doesn't have a temper on him like Loki. He can get mad if he sees social injustice. That'll really piss him off. But he's not just going to go around beating people to death with his hammer either. So he's really easy and sweet to work with. He loves babies and little kids and old people. He thinks all humans are cute. He thinks we're all adorable. I'm not sure why he makes of us sometimes, but he thinks we're all pretty cute. He's the most friendly of the gods. He's even friendlier than Loki, and he'll keep that friendliness up even if he sees you once a year. He'll still be just as friendly the next time you see him, as long as you haven't been deliberately going out of your way to avoid him, because you don't have to be scared of him. I mean, God, Thor's like the nicest of the gods. He's nothing like the stories. He doesn't have a bad temper. He's real easygoing, and he's smarter probably in his own way than Loki and Odin put together. He just doesn't have to be flamboyant about it. And you know he's smart, but he's not going to use it to humiliate you. In fact, he'll go out of his way to make you feel comfortable, which is why I told him very endearingly, and he didn't take offense of it. I said, "I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but I can see why people think you're kind of a doofus because you go out of your way not to hurt people or to use what you know as a god over people." And he's like, He didn't care. He knew what I meant. He goes, "What's the point of making people feel bad?" That he said, once you show people how smart you are, then they shut down around you and they never show you how smart they are. He'd rather see how smart you are, not like, oh, impress the gods or act arrogant, but he'd rather see your potential come out. And his way of having your potential come out is not shutting you down by having to be the smartest person in the room. So he's really sweet to work with. And he will use his wiles on you to get his way. He will use that very earnest, cute older brother. "Oh, but hey, sis, let's go, play VR. Let's make something together. Let's watch some YouTube or something." He'll lead you in the right direction by being genuinely friendly. Just, don't go out your way to piss him off. That goes for any god. And, don't treat him poorly. And he'll be like the easiest god you've worked with. He will answer prayers. It depends. Sometimes it can take him years. Some people say he answers instantly. That hasn't been my experience. Sometimes, for whatever reason, stuff seems to take years to manifest in your life. Like, if I would say, "I need this today, Thor," he would be like, "I don't know." And maybe it would come today, and maybe it would never come, but he's not I saw one person say that if you ask him for something, you'll get it instantly, but you'll pay a terrible price. I've never had that happen. I've had him answer me super fast on a couple rare occasions, but there's no terrible price to pay for guys. I'm not sure what they're serving, but it's not Thor. Thor doesn't demand a lot. Just know what you're in for. If you ask for something, he's pretty good natured. You may likely get it. So try to think through what you're asking, and do be aware that with the Norse gods especially, if you ask one god for something, they might not be totally paying attention, and another god hears you and answers. And do remember who his daddy is. So sometimes if you say to Thor, "Oh, I'd really like to learn to do this," Thor would be very gentle, tell you to set up a study plan, get you to the local library or on the interwebs. If Odin decides to answer instead, you'll learn, all right. You'll learn, and Odin will make it challenging and make you a better person, and you'll be crying the whole time, but you'll learn, all right. So he's good to work with, but do be aware that sometimes the old man will answer for him or Loki. Oh God, if Loki answers, because Loki will make it fun. Oh, you asked Thor, huh? Why'd you ask Thor? Why didn't you answer me? Huh? Why didn't you ask me? 'Cause I know what kind of answer you give. Oh, you know what kind of answer I give? Well, watch what kind of answer I'm gonna give. So it's complicated, but he's a pretty good god to work with. I hope that helped, guys. He's just so easy and laid back. There's really no god I could give you, like, except for like what I repeated 20 times about not deliberately making him angry, because then you'll deal with daddy and you'll deal with uncle. Thor won't be the one to really do anything with you. If he gets hurt, he'll let you know, but he's really not going to go out of his way to punish people. That's not his thing. He usually figures being humiliated because you made the wrong choice and having to face the consequences is enough punishment. So if you guys like what you see, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.